Welcome to the Upside podcast, where we help you get unstuck in your life and your business by elevating your thinking and provoking meaningful change from the inside out. I'm your host, Teresa Flood, and let's get started. So today's episode, I want to talk to you as a recovering perfectionist. And I would gather there's a few of you listening that may fall into the perfectionism trap. And I'm just going to tell you right now, perfectionism is totally overrated. And when we can learn to break free of the absolute myth of perfection, it will cause you to get unstuck in your life. So the thing about perfectionism is that it causes total paralysis. So I look back on my life and there are quite a few things. I'm going to be honest. There was a long stint of my life that I didn't have a lot of failure because I never tried anything that I couldn't do. Nothing that I thought I would fail at would I ever have put myself out there to do, because if I didn't have a perfect record, I would never even attempt it. And as I've grown, I've started to learn to put myself out there and started to really embrace the idea of growth and failure as a learning opportunity. But when we get caught in that perfectionism, we actually get into total paralysis. And some of us may think we have a procrastination problem. What we actually may have is a perfectionism problem. Are you not starting what you know you need to start because you're afraid it's not going to be perfect? Have you ever looked at maybe a goal or a dream or a next step and said, I'm just not ready for that yet. The timing isn't perfect. The surroundings aren't perfect. I haven't learned what I need to learn yet. I'm not at a place yet. I'm going to be an imposter doing that. That is all just such a lie of perfectionism, and it causes us to be in total paralysis. We sometimes hide behind this facade that perfectionism is really that we have standards. Yeah, maybe. But maybe we're just using it as an excuse to never even take that first step. So I want to encourage you to maybe look at your life a little bit and say, what are you not moving forward on? What are you procrastinating, or what are you in total paralysis on that you've maybe used an excuse of having high standards or an excuse of excellence, and actually you're just trapped in perfectionism? Because here is the newsflash for you, Walter Cronkite, for all you Zoolander fans. Perfectionism is a myth. It's never going to be accomplished. It will absolutely never happen. Now, if I have any brain surgeons listening to me, I kind of hope you could just disregard this episode and tune in for the next one, because I kind of hope you're perfect in that. But you get my drift. For the rest of us, most of it's not life or death. And there's always going to be one more tweak, one more revision to make, one more thing that we could learn, one more way we could do it better, right? And so that perfectionism goal is a standard that we will never actually accomplish. So what is the difference then between perfection and excellence? Because I am a believer in excellence. We should absolutely be people that care about what we produce being high quality and being excellent. And yet perfectionism is unattainable, but excellence will always push you to grow and improve. And things are you're operating in excellence when you prepare, when you continue to learn and grow, when you always do your best. That's about being in excellence, not necessarily about being in perfection. The last thing I want to tell you is that perfectionism, we actually get better with the reps. So there was a story that I heard about two groups of people, and they did a test group. And these were widget makers. I don't really even know what a widget is, but just whatever you want to think a widget is. And you had one group that was given the instructions that they were going to make the perfect widget. They were going to combine together. They were going to brainstorm. They were going to mastermind. They were going to test it out. They would do all the things. And their goal in a certain amount of time was to make a perfect widget, or the absolute best quality widget that they could make. And the second group, they had the same amount of time, but they were told you need to make as many widgets as you can make. We're not so worried about the quality. We just want you to mass produce and make as many of these little guys as you possibly can. And the interesting thing is at the end of the day, you would have thought that maybe the group that that was focused on the quality made the best widget. But what actually happened is the group that was focused on the quantity made the best widget. Why is that? Because the perfection, the growth, the getting better just happens in the reps. The more we do something, the better we're going to get at it. It doesn't matter how talented we are. The first time we do something new is not going to be as good as the next time, and certainly not going to be as good as we're going to be a year from now or 10 years from now or a lifetime of doing something. So the growth happens in the reps. Don't underestimate the importance of the quantity of what we're doing, because in the quantity, that's really when the quality starts to happen. So I'm going to give you 3 actionable takeaways to help you break free from perfectionism and get unstuck and get moving with your goals and your dreams. So the first thing is, y'all, you got to start before you're ready. Just do it. Just go. Start before you're ready. Don't be waiting for the perfect environment, but before all of the stars to align to come into place. You have to start before you're ready, because reality is you will never be ready. You will never be ready if you're not willing to just start before you're ready. Take that first step, even if it feels messy and scary. The second thing is to embrace imperfection as part of the growth process. Growth is messy. Success is messy. One of the things, if your business is going to grow, it's going to get a little messy on the back end. So if you're too worried that that things aren't going to go perfectly, I'm going to tell you, if you're willing to grow, things aren't going to always go perfectly. You're going to make some mistakes. There's going to be some messes. Some things are going to fall through the cracks. So if you want to play small, focus on being perfect. But if you want to grow something big, be willing to embrace the imperfections as part of the process. Success is messy. It really is okay. You're going to get better every time. You focus on excellence, not on perfection. And I promise you, over time, you're going to get better and better and better and better. And the third thing is focus on progress, not perfection. So celebrate your small wins. It's easy to look at how far we have to go, but it's important to also look back on how far we've come. And so maybe today you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the goals that you have in front of you. Take a minute and pause and just look back on how far you've come, how much better you are at the things that you never maybe thought you could do. Remember the first time that you stepped out and did something you were afraid to do, and now look at how easy that has become for you. That is what progress is all about. So start before you're ready. Some of you need to get into action today. Let's just do this. Quit procrastinating. Now's the time you are ready. Number 2, embrace perfection as part of the process, and then focus on progress all along the way. Guys, perfection is overrated. Encourage you to go for it. If this episode has been meaningful to you today, we would love a review and a share with somebody who might need to be a recovering perfectionist as well. But again, remember, when you invest in your growth every single day, you're going to yield great returns in your life and in your business. I'm your host, Teresa Flood, and this is The Upside.